Yeah, I mean, he won the MVP last year. He is the reigning National League MVP, and he was well-deserved. He's a 4-time All-Star. He won the Silver Slugger last year. He would have been an All-Star last year had an All-Star game happened. I'm not sorry about the fact that it didn't. But had it happened, he would have been the All-Star. Batting cleanup, Marcell Ozuna, left field. There's a lot of talk. Could they or would they not get Marcell Ozuna back? Well, yeah, they managed to lock him up to a contract. Everywhere he's been pretty good. He started in Miami. He played for St. Louis. He had a 1-year contract last year. Basically considered to be a loan, much like Josh Donaldson was for the Braves last year. Well, they managed to hold on to Marcell Ozuna. That paid off. Seriously, that one paid off. And yes, he's what you want in a cleanup hitter. And if they choose to flip Freddie Freeman and Marcell Ozuna, clean up and third in the lineup, they can do that. There's no reason why they can't do that. Batting fifth, catcher, Travis d'Arnaud. He was a long-time Met. Now that he's finally playing for, I think he's been in Atlanta for a couple of years, and he's a pretty good catcher. He's the kind of catcher that you want on your team. He's a pretty good hitting catcher. I don't necessarily know that. Well, fifth isn't like your number one home run spot, but you do expect some power there. I think that I don't necessarily know that I would put him fifth on the lineup, but he can bat there. And he's a pretty good catching catcher too. Just kind of the point. Batting sixth, Dansby Swanson, shortstop. So this is when I actually had to start looking up players. I've gotten so familiar with this lineup that the first 5 guys, I didn't even have to look up because I'm so used to seeing them, or I'm so used to hearing things about them. Dansby Swanson. So he's definitely one of those better fielding shortstops, but he's not a bad hitter. And he actually can, he might take the next leap this year. He may make the All-Star game. And that's really going to catch some attention of a lot of folks. And he comes up for contract. Teams might come after him. Batting seventh, Austin Riley, third base. He really hasn't played that much. Last couple of years, he's been a Brave, but so last year they had Josh Donaldson. Obviously, Josh Donaldson got the nod. Austin Riley was more of he was a backup, okay? He's been a backup in Atlanta for the last couple of years, so he really doesn't have that. He's got experience now, but this is his first. It looks like this is going to be his first real go at being like Atlanta's starting third baseman. Who knows? They may have found a hidden gem. Batting eighth in the National League, the pitcher bats ninth, and the designated hitter is not happening this season. The collective bargaining agreement is up December 1st, so they're probably going to readdress the designated hitter then. So as of right now, eighth is the bottom spot in the lineup. Center fielder Christian Pache. This is his rookie year. Last year, he had 4 at-bats and 1 hit, meaning that he probably played 1 full game. We'll find out. So in the outfield, the Braves have the corners locked down. You got Acuna in right. You got Ozuna in left. They solidify that center field position. Oh my God. You've got everything you could possibly want in an outfield during those 90s teams that won all those divisions. It was their outfield, and of course Chipper Jones III, that made that team. It was their outfield that really produced the offense, and there's no reason to believe that they can't have the same for center field. So he may end up moving up in the lineup, but considering how top-heavy it is, where do you put him? So yeah, the lineup is still loaded. Rotation, so this could be hit or miss, but I think that the rotation actually is pretty good, assuming that it holds up to 2020 levels, which, yeah, 2020 is a bit of an outlier. But they got 5 guys that can legit be good across the board. So they signed Charlie Morton away from Tampa Bay. He's still in his early 30s, so he's still got a lot of gas left in the tank. He's played in the World Series for the Rays. He's played in the World Series for the Astros. He's had God knows how much success all the way across the board for a lot of different teams. And he's finally getting to be that one guy in the rotation when there's been a couple of rotations where he easily could have been the one guy. So, yeah, he is an ace, and he's finally getting to play in a rotation where he can be the ace, or at very least treated like it. Second in the rotation, Max Fried. He's one of the guys that got Atlanta the division last year. Ian Anderson, same thing. He's one of the guys that got them the division last year. And those 2 guys were 2 of the 3 guys that got them their postseason win, or their postseason series victory against the Reds. Those were the 2 starters that did it. Third in the rotation, Drew Smyly. Fourth. He could easily be third or even a lower end second in a rotation, because he actually has had some success. So, yeah, when you got someone of his level fourth in the rotation, you're pretty happy with that. And then fifth, Kyle Wright. He's the other guy that really made a name for himself for the Braves in the postseason last year. So whenever you got him fifth, you got a pretty scary rotation. And outside of Charlie Morton, you may look at that rotation and go, they don't have any all-stars, blah, 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 blah. No, they've got several potential all-stars. All 5 of them can't make the all-star game. It just doesn't work like that. But the potential for any one of those 5 to make the all-star game, and Charlie Morton possibly throwing his hat in the ring for an NL Cy Young Award, yeah, I said it, that could happen. Closer, Will Smith. So he is like their definite closer. And he really made a name for himself in San Francisco. And now that he's in Atlanta, he actually has a chance to be a consistently good closer for more than just a couple of years of his career. Most closers, they'll have 1, maybe 2 good seasons, and then they just fall off the map. Well, Will Smith actually has a chance to stay on the map, if you will. He's already got a 34-save season, and there's no reason to believe that he can't continue that. As far as the bullpen is concerned, a little bit of a mixed bag, but definitely high upside. Chris Martin, AJ Minter, and Tyler Matzek. So, not necessarily the best 3 guys. Because there's no 9 guy in the lineup, I'm adding a bullpen guy. So, it's not necessarily the best bullpen in the world, but it's certainly good enough to take you there, especially with Will Smith on the back end. This team's going to win a lot of games. They got the offense that can score 900 runs this season. There's usually only 2 or 3 teams at most that score 900 runs. You might have one score 950. You usually don't. This could be one of the 2 or 3 teams that scores 900 runs this season. And then their rotation is good enough that not only do they not have to worry about run support, they can have an ERA of somewhere in the 3.5 range, and they could legitimately go pretty deep. If it wasn't for what the Padres are doing and the fact that I think that the Nats are going to have a bounce-back year, I'd say this team could go to a World Series. It is possible. This team could go to the World Series. I don't think they will. I think they're out in the first round, or in the wild card game. But they've got the talent, they've got the roster, they've got the starters. It all depends on, will all their players stay healthy? Because, look, everybody has injuries, and you got to worry about the next guy up. That's true of everybody. That's not just Atlanta, that's everybody. If Atlanta's ceiling is obtained, then yeah, you're looking at the first World Series title since '95. And not only that, the second World Series title, only the second title in the history of the city of Atlanta. They have that level of talent this year. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's fully possible. And if you'd like to let me know your thoughts, you can do so down in the comments below. Or, if you're listening to my podcast, you can do so on Patreon. Adamo Baseball Podcast. Or, yeah. I think some of the different podcast platforms will let you comment, and if they do, please do. And if you're watching my channel on YouTube, go and throw me a like, or if you don't like it, throw me a dislike. Any news is good news. So with that being said, thank you for listening. Cheers until next time.